Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live. It is Tuesday. It is 2 o'clock. We are coming at you live as we do each and every single week, talking about all things building a new home on your land anywhere in Texas. So jump in to the chat. Tell us where you're watching from, where you're building, what part of the process you are in. We want to hear from you. I'm Eric Allard, part of the fourth generation of the Tilson family, joined as I am each and every single week from the warmth of her home, Dawn Dansler, our Vice President of Marketing Customer Experience. Good afternoon, Dawn.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
It's awesome. It's beautiful. It's I'm at a remote location, obviously. So thanks for accommodating me being on the road. But we do want to come at you as we do each and every single week live. It is Tilson Tuesday. It is 2 o'clock, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. We want to hear from you. Please drop into the chat. Tell us where you're watching from, where you're building, and most importantly, what part of the process you're in. So whether you're just considering building a home on your land, we want to hear all about that. If you are already started the process, maybe you have already done your site evaluation, maybe you're down the road, or maybe you've already finished this whole thing. Maybe you're sitting in your home ready for the weather that's coming in. We got a polar vortex. Sounds terrifying. Yep, polar vortexes. That's coming in. So tell us where you're watching from, where you're building, and what part of the process you're in. And then while you jump into the chat and tell us those things, Dawn will tell us what we're talking about today. Special episode.
Yeah, I'm so very excited. We get to share one of you guys' homes with you, which is, absolutely one of my favorite things that we get to do on the show is actually show you guys a completed home as the customers, walk us through it and kind of explain any changes that they made, what they loved about the plan, how they're living in their home. So we just love to see that come to life. So we actually have a bear, which is one of our newer plans. So very excited to show that off. So.
I think you pronounced it incorrectly. Did you not? I'm just kidding.
No, that one I got right. Like we actually put a little bear on the floor plan.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite brochure that we have. So yeah, dude, folks, jump in to the chat. Tell us where you're watching from, where you're building, what part of the process you're in. We want to hear from you. Any questions at all you might have about any portion about building a home on your land in Texas. So whether that is design features, customization, financing, site preparation, which is the most important part of building a home on your land. So you got to develop that piece of property. Are we talking about culverts, utilities, power, water, gas, septic systems, sewer systems, permits? We got permits going on. So jump in, tell us where you're watching from, what part of the process you're in, and where you're building. We want to hear from you. Again, any and all questions, they can pertain to the bear if you want to, which we're going to see a beautiful home. Thanks to customers sharing with us. Or any other of our designs you want to talk about, drop it in the chat. We'll answer the questions. We want to hear from you guys. So we want to know whatever you're up to. We want to know what questions that you have. The whole point of the show is for you guys. We'll make sure that you have all the information you need for you and your family to make the best decisions you possibly can. So drop it into the chat, where you're watching from, where you're building, part of the process you're in. We want to hear from you guys, and then we'll get on with this presentation. Dawn, who is joining us thus far?
Yeah, we've got Jason saying, hey guys, anxiously and excitedly awaiting for foundation pour. I'm getting aggravated at Mother Nature. Yeah, she is like just when we think we're good, she drops some more precipitation on us.
Yeah, it's going to get a little rowdy this week, buddy. Maybe tonight.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got Cindy watching from Allen, Texas, building a custom rock wall in Grayson County. We are in the framing phase, hoping bad weather passes quickly. Yes, definitely us too. But yeah, Rockwall's a great plan. So that'll be good. We've got Heather saying hello from the Ramirez's, building a custom Tampico C in San Jacinto County. Spray foam and sheetrock going in this week and next week. Super excited. John from the Spring location and Thomas have been amazing to work with. Oh, awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you for sharing that. And then we've got Denise saying, good afternoon from Pearland, building the Canyon D in Chapel Hill. We are in the approval stage with HOA in Washington County. Was just advised this morning Washington County requires a drip septic and not aerobic. Any idea how much more this will be? Hundreds or thousands?
Okay, so Denise, technically a drip septic is still aerobic. So there's two types of aerobic systems. So there's usually two types of septic systems. So you got conventional, which is gravity flow. So you have a field, you usually have a tank or two, and then a field line going out into sand. And then there's aerobic system, which actually requires power, has the the solids tank. It has a treatment tank, and then has a holding tank that when it flows up a certain amount, it sprays or delivers the treated water out on the ground. 2 types of aerobic: spray application or surface application, which means sprinklers pop up, they spray the treated water, and then a drip application, which is what you're referring to there, which it's still a pumped system. It just, instead of spraying the water on the surface, it's delivered into, basically think about it as like a hose with like little holes punched in it where the water is being delivered. It's never sprayed onto the surface. It's still being delivered, but it's being delivered subsurface so that it doesn't have any runoff. It doesn't. So I don't know if you're near a body of water. I'll be honest with you, Washington County has been ridiculous for the last 15 years about their septic systems. It's maybe the last 20 years. They were, for the longest time, requiring you actually sit down with a person and explain, and then they try to talk you out of a aerobic into a conventional, and maybe that's what you're saying. That may still be the case. If so, they're ridiculous, but that doesn't change the law of the land. But it's very, very, very backwoods, and not very strategic, and not best for the consumer or the taxpayer, but they don't really care. So the good news is, no matter what, it will work. If it is a drip aerobic system, it is going to be probably a couple $1,000s more. If it is a conventional system, it's going to be about the same, maybe a little more, depending on the type of soil that's there, because what we have to do is extract the soil that's out there and actually bring in sand. So the conventional system requires, in Texas, about 36 inches of sand. They want a foot of sand on the surface, a foot of sand that the field line is running in, and a foot of sand below. And it has to do with the way that the water percolates or soaks in, just like a coffee percolates through a coffee percolator. Like, think of the old church potluck that had the coffee going through the old avocado green or harvest gold thing. Very, very similar. But yeah, Washington County has always been very backwoods about it, which makes no sense because the counties all around them do it right. So, end of rant on Washington County.
All right. Jason is sharing, by the way, I met with my builder, Danny Willis, last week. Just like everything Tilson, he was fantastic, and I look forward to working with him. Oh, that's
You're
awesome.
You're going to love Danny. Yeah, you're going to love him. Super conscientious guy.
Yeah. We've got Jean from Freestone County building a custom Fredericksburg, scheduled to begin the dirt pad on Friday if the weather will cooperate this week.
Cool.
Worked with Sydney from the spring office. Awesome.
Oh, very cool. Awesome.
All right. We got a friend from YouTube, George and Marie Kelly, are building a bear in Matagorda.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. Love that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and show off this awesome home. So let's talk. All right,
let's check it out, folks. Y'all drop your questions, comments, anything like that into the chat. We'll answer every one of them while we get on about this business.
All right. All right. So we're going to be talking about the bear plan, which, like I said, it is one of our newer. It's not a newest house, but it is newer. So I'm excited to see them coming through with us. So they offer 4 exterior elevations on it. So we've got, our traditional, brick A. We've got, more of a brick gable on elevation B. We've got the farmhouse look on elevation C, and then a craftsman style in elevation D. And this is the floor plan, as it's offered, and really what our drafting team was looking for with this, and what we tasked them with was, get us 4 bedrooms in 2,000 square feet, make it as efficient as possible, make those bedrooms as big as we can within that allowance, and that's exactly what they did for us. It's a great plan for that. So if you're looking for a lot of rooms with not as much square footage, this is a great plan. It's very well designed, very minimal hallways. Every inch of space is used exactly like it needs to be. So it is a true split bedroom as well, which is great for this. So you've got that master suite, on the complete opposite side from those secondary bedrooms. So you've got your privacy. Nobody's, you're not sharing a wall with the rowdy kids or guests or whatever. Everybody's got their own space. And then it's got a wonderful design for entertaining that we only approach it this way in a few of our plans. So it's nice to have another one that does this, but you've got that kitchen, dining room, family room as one big open entertaining space. That's all in a row. Just like that. So your dining room's not tucked over to the side. You can actually sit in the dining room and still be a part of everything that's going on everywhere else. So that's a unique thing with this design that a lot of people like with it.
Yeah. So for those of you that like the Polidoro layout, but you don't need, 2,700 square feet of living area, very good alternative because the way
Yeah,
the
this is a
kitchen
great
dining and
option
family
for
is set
that.
up is very, very, very similar.
All right. And then we'll talk a little bit about the changes they made, which were relatively few by Tilson standards. So they really didn't change a lot. The house was pretty much exactly what they liked. They did make a big change on the outside, which we'll show you in that video. But really, all they did here was, a few minor things. In the master bathroom, they did go ahead and raise the vanity and they actually added a sink. So on our last home tour, we showed you somebody who took away the double sinks. This one they added and did the double sink, raised the height of that vanity, and then switched out the tub shower combo for just the walk-in shower. So that they did that change. The biggest difference that you're going to see is they did add that 2-car garage over on the side. And when they did that, they went ahead and added in some storage space as well within the garage. They did add some upper cabinets in the utility room. They added a rear cover porch. And with that, they also put some French doors coming off of that kitchen dining area to access that and be able to get it. And then they did the custom option that was the family room sloped ceiling. So raise that ceiling height a little bit just to make that room feel even bigger than it was. So not a whole lot of changes for us because this, like I said, this is a very well-designed plan. And there's not a lot you can do to it to have, this much bedrooms and this much rooms in that square foot package. So let's take a look at this home. We're going to look at the exterior and the kitchen first.
Check it out.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tilson Home Tours. My name is Peyton and today I'm joined by the Anderson family to walk through their beautiful Bear Sea home here in Erath County. So let's start on the exterior of your home. What was kind of the inspiration behind choosing that sea elevation?
Well, we really liked the board and batten look, just about everything about it. We kind of didn't like the flat front of the roof look.
Yeah.
But we talked with the people in the Weatherford office, make some adjustments, and so they came up with the doorbell, kind of a combination of dormer gable, to give that more curb appeal. Yes, that elevated curb appeal that we're looking for. And we really love the changes that they were able to make with us.
It looks beautiful, and you have that big front porch. I know you have your chairs out there for sitting and enjoying the sunrise and everything. It's gorgeous. Perfect size porch in there. And I love the white that you chose. I feel like it's kind of your classic farmhouse, and it makes the stain really pop against it. So it's really pretty. Well, let's move in the kitchen, which we're at right now. And I love how much cabinetry you have in this kitchen. I think that's one thing we need to point out in this plan. It offers you so much storage. Yes. Yeah. So tell me about like the stain that you chose. I know you like the kind of the darker look to it. I think it matches your countertops great. And kind of what was your thought behind choosing that?
We loved just the farmhouse look. We picked the shaker's cabinetry, and we picked the walnut stain. It kind of to match the floors. There were a few things I really wanted. I wanted the long drawers and deep drawers for pots and pans and heavy things that are hard for me to get down from a cabinet. So I have them low now.
Easily accessible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then one thing I really wanted was a trash drawer. So we put that was one addition that we made. And then one thing I really wanted in my kitchen was the door that says pantry on it. So I got that.
And the beautiful touch.
Thank you. We love that. And I think it also lightens up. We went with white, it's not white walls, but a lighter wall and lighter subway tile with the darker cabinetry and dark floors. So it kind of balances it out.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a look in the dining room? I'll hold you guys over there, okay?
All right. So yeah, I know a few of you were saying you were working with the Spring office, that curb appeal thing that they added, the doorbell, registered trademark Tilson Homes. We made that up. That is straight off of the San Jacinto exterior is the one that they picked up to make that change, and it just really added a little bit more visual interest to the roof, and like they were saying, just a little bit more curb appeal. So just it's there for looks. And then, like I mentioned before, they did, add on that 2-car garage. So you very clearly can see that. in their home. And then this is the outside. I think it was a great choice. It does just make it just more interesting to look at. So yeah, great curb appeal with that change, and love the nice light colors they've got going on with the cedar accents and all of that. So yeah, it just looks.
Well, it's a very
amazing.
inexpensive way to make the house look a lot bigger than the 2,000 square feet that it is, without paying all that property tax and heating and cooling and cleaning over 2,000 square feet. So I mean, if you set this side by side with the San Jacinto, it looks like the San Jacinto.
Yeah.
So that was a really good strategic use of their money. Smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is their beautiful kitchen, which, nice big island in that kitchen. Just great use of space. Like you've got that corner pantry, and she got her pantry door. I'm a big fan of those as well. So yeah, lots of space. And, they did make some changes in here, like she was talking about that, and that it's always good for you guys to know your options. If you don't like the way the cabinets are situated, they wanted drawers instead of lower cabinets. So they swapped those all out. And yeah, I think just a great use. I am a big fan of that too, because I always feel like things get lost in the cabinets. So I'm a much bigger fan of drawers.
I'm your quintessential husband. Like if I open the door and I don't see it, it's not there. Like there is no looking behind the things for things. Like that's not a thing. In the refrigerator.
And somehow, no matter how well it's organized in there, it always falls out when you open the doors. Like it's just, yeah. So I love that change. And then they did, they added in the trash can pull out that they wanted. So if there's any features that you're looking for in your kitchen, talk to our consultants, and that's something that they can help you figure out. So yeah, just love this. I think they did, she said she wanted that farmhouse look, and I think she hit the nail on the head. Yeah. And great use of the color selections too, because the floors do match up really, really well with the cabinets. So it's a good use. And then I can see we do have a couple people saying hey to us. So let's check in with them. Let's see. We've got Ashley Bounds. Hello from California. Dawn, it was so awesome to see you in real life, and sorry for the brief fangirl moment at the Lone Star. Oh, don't worry about that. No, it was so nice to meet you. I was so excited to meet you, and my daughters now think that I am an absolute rock star because they were with me, and so they got to witness that. So no, and I fangirled over you too as soon as I realized who you were. So I was just it's always nice to meet you guys. So the odds of running into you at Republic were just like so slim because you're from California. So, but yeah, awesome to meet you. So glad that you got to go and look. What did you think? I didn't get to say goodbye before I left. So let us know what you thought about that plan.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got Angela saying, Hola from Kima. Finally decided on the Bear B. Oh, awesome. Well, good thing that you joined us. You can see more of this gorgeous house. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let Angela see some more. We can look at the dining room and the living room.
Keep dropping your questions and comments into the chat, folks. We'll answer every one of them.
That's great. So as we walk into this room, let's kind of something that's kind of unique in this plan that we don't see in a lot of our plans, and how that dining space is in between your kitchen and your living room. And is that something that you guys were looking for going into this plan?
Yes, ma'am. We really were. We had found a couple of other floor plans of other houses with Tilson that we liked, but it wasn't exactly fitting what we wanted, because it did have the dining area off to the side, which kind of limits the space of your table. If you want to expand, or if you have a long table, you're kind of limited by walls there. We had that in our old house. We were looking at plans and had even talked to Tilson about looking at the Tampico. We liked the Tampico, we liked the Angelina, but there were things that just weren't quite right. And then we got an email from Tilson that said, hey, here's a plan you might like, a new plan that would come out with the Bear. And we looked at that, and it was just perfect. And it's what we wanted with the flow from the kitchen through the dining to the living area. But also the dining area is just nice and spacious, so you're not limited with table size or table arrangement or whatever you want to do in there. that this really opens things up in the dining area.
It is. It's a very big space. You have, 6 chairs at this table, and you still have plenty of space to walk around. And yes, you're part of the kitchen conversations. You're part of the living room conversations. It's a great area, nice space. And you also added these French doors out to your rear covered porch, right? That was just one single door to begin with?
Yes, we added the porch, and the door was a single door over here on the right next to the utility room with 2 windows. And we decided to add the French doors, open it up a little more, and the Weatherford office decided, hey, the best way to do this is probably to change the windows and put windows on either side, and that's going to look
Even it out.
even it out a little better and make it look better. And that was a great idea.
And
so that worked really well.
So much natural light in this area, which is so nice.
We love the natural light. Actually, during the day, we rarely have to turn the lights on in this big family area, even in the kitchen, because during the day there's so much natural light coming.
That's wonderful. Well, this is a great space. Let's move into another great space, the family room. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is a very large family room. Let's talk about some of the changes you made to the ceiling of this room.
This floor plan had 9-foot ceilings throughout, which we really like because it gives you more space than some of the smaller 8-foot ceilings. But there was the option here in the living area to raise that up even higher. So we just in the living area went with a 10-foot ceiling and then a sloped part of the ceiling over there on the edge by the windows.
Yeah, kind of opens everything up.
It does, and it ended up matching well with what we did on the covered porch, because they needed extra support right here with that change in the ceiling, and it perfectly lined up with this, because everybody with Tilson planned this out right and made the modifications right so that it would perfectly line up with the support that was needed for the outside covered porch.
That's
And so
perfect.
that
This
was-
is such a large room. I know you guys have a big family, so I'm sure this is a good gathering spot for everybody.
We're gonna love the holidays.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and move into your master bedroom.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, there's that great dining space. And like you could see in the video, just a very, like you're saying, you can make this table pretty much as big as you wanted. And yeah, it lets, when you have lots of family to entertain, lets everybody be involved in all the conversations. So just great use of space. And I love the addition of those French doors out onto the back porch, so that they made all of that work, and you've got all that natural light coming into the space. So yeah, just a great continuous flow use of space there.
Yeah, the doors going out is a nice touch, especially with swinging out like that. So you got all the space in there that you possibly would need. So, and it lets all the light in.
Yep.
Super sharp.
And then there's that family room right next to it. So great big space. You can see they've got one couch, a love seat, and 2 extra chairs in here. So lots of space for everybody to just stretch out. I'm super impressed. They've got an ottoman and a coffee table. Just all that room there, and just a great use of space. And then, like he was talking about, they did go with that sloped ceiling option, which raises the main footage, in the main areas, it's up to 10 feet, the ceiling in there. And then it, goes and slopes down. And coincidentally, that worked really well on the back of the home for that addition of that back porch that they put on there. So our drafting team was able to make that work for them. So again, lots of windows, lots of natural light, lots of great views of the property. Just a beautiful room.
Even the furniture is on point with the farmhouse. I couldn't help but notice with the TV sitting on and the ottoman in the middle. It's perfect.
Yeah, love that. All right, I can see that we've got a couple more questions coming through. So let me switch over. All right, we've got Shlee, who has given me a pronunciation, so I've written it down so I remember.
Nice. Thank you, Shlee. Thank you.
Thank you. We are building a very custom Polidoro A. We are supposed to sign off on plans this week and start clearing soon. We've been working with Julie in spring. We went and looked at the Polidoro in San Marcos last weekend. Awesome.
Oh, very cool.
Sounds
Beautiful
great.
house.
And then Jason says that wherever Eric is looks better than where the rest of us are.
Well, I have news for you, Jason. I'm not far from you. I'm just in western Houston County, Texas, probably 2 miles from the Trinity River. So I'm not. It's going to get pretty rowdy here the next 2 to 3. We will be done by 3 or afterwards, because I think the bottom's going to fall out of it here pretty quick. So.
All right. Or it's going to get really interesting.
Or it's going to get real. Yeah. Yeah. With a live weather update. I want to be like the hurricane weather guy.
You're like, it's raining. All right. Schlee
My
is
Dan Rather
asking,
moment.
do you do cross trusses in the attic or offer that?
So Shali, I want to be sure I'm clear on what we do. So we have with trusses, there could be an open web truss design, which is like the ceiling joist or floor joist if you have a second story, and there's also what's known as trusses for the roof system. We don't typically do trusses for either of those. So short answer, on large wide open spans, like for a second story or for a garage, we are using I-beams. I think right now we're using them by Weyerhaeuser, and it's February of 2025. So presently it's a Weyerhaeuser product that we're using. And so that's what we typically use. We don't really work with trusses, everything. We prefer to use everything stick built. So in other words, cut to fit on site. Our framers are all highly skilled, and when they show up at the job site, it's bundles of lumber that show up, and they literally cut every rafter, every ceiling joist, every floor joist, every purling, every bracing, every strong back. It's all cut on site to fit. Our biggest issue with truss systems is that they assume perfection in the whole of the build. They work great when you're building in a factory. So, for example, like a modular home or a mobile home, they work fine because they're being built indoors. They aren't as forgiving when you're building in an uncontrolled environment outside to the elements. So when you're working with natural materials, human hands, in an uncontrolled environment outside, trusses are not very forgiving with that. And we've found that you can see kind of a lot of waves in the roof or in the floor system or the ceiling of your sheetrock. So we prefer not to use trusses. But if I'm missing that somewhere, please let me know. But we don't typically use trusses in our attic system or our flooring systems. We do use I-beams on wide open spans like garages or second floors.
Okay, makes sense. All right. Ashley is saying she loved the Lone Star, just too much for me to clean and pay to cool. Yeah. We love seeing the finishes and details so we can pick and choose when we build. Amy was nice, ended up talking with her for a while. Oh, that's awesome. Glad that you liked it. Yeah, I agree. I think you could probably hear my daughters running around on the other side of the house when you were there. And yeah, it's really gorgeous for me too. It's a little bit too much to clean, but I love to look at it. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous house.
Yeah.
Then we've got Angela saying we were able to do a cathedral in the living room and out to the rear covered porch. What are the ceiling heights in the ceiling?
Okay. So in the Bear, is that what we're asking about?
Yes.
Okay. I may need a little bit of a second because I was
in the Bear, everywhere that you're going to have in that house, it's going to be a 9-foot ceiling height. It's part of our heritage series of plans. So it's going to come as a 9-foot. And then if you do raise the ceilings, doing that cathedral, I'm not sure how high that is. I think Eric might be doing. Eric might be able to do that math. There's like triangles and geometry and stuff.
Rise of a run. It's I will look it up. It's sort of the Bear cathedral ceiling.
Mm-hmm. In the living room, out to the rear covered porch.
Okay. I'm gonna guesstimate it. I'm looking at this one here. This is a Tilson home built in 1968. So it's somewhere around 15 feet. But I'll verify it on probably the next video break and
Okay.
I'll validate what that's going to be. So
awesome. All right. And then we have Misty joining us from Hood County. Hey, Misty. We got Taisha building the Marion in Victoria County. Got a closing date of April 18th. Birthday is April 9th. So a great birthday gift. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, there's someone else whose birthday is April the 9th. Just throwing it out there. Taisha.
Okay. It's not me, so.
Oh, well, that narrows it down now, doesn't it?
Then we got Jason asking, what size AC will like Angelina get? We added some space, and the total under roof is about 2,100 square feet.
Great question, Jason. So the way we're going to calculate that, actually, because it's not going to be the same across the board. So we're going to do a manual J, which is it's a software program, actually. So the AC company is going to put into this piece of software not only the floor plan of the house, but every ceiling height, the square footage of the glazing or the glass on the home, They're going to be putting in the zip code of where you're building, what direction the house is facing, insulation that we're using, the type of windows that we're using, the solar heat gain coefficient, the universal heat gain, the U factor of all these things. All of that data gets put into the software, very specific, truly site specific to where you're building, and it will spit out exactly what tonnage. So the answer to that question is TBD. We will know, but before we ever let the plan go out to construction, we'll know exactly, because it actually calculates how many cubic feet per minute are going to be going to every single room that has a supply and a return, but for sure supply. So like even if it's a walk-in pantry and it has a supply, or a walk-in closet that has a supply, it has how many cubic feet per minute it's going to need. Every bedroom, every study, foyer, family room, utility room, exhaust fans. It calculates how many cubic feet per minute your vent hood will extract. So I know that sounds kind of gobbledygoo, but truly all that data matters when you go into designing a whole house HVAC system. And it's not a one size fits all for an Angelina in the entirety of Texas, but your sales consultant will be able to find out on the Manual J exactly what size system. We go all the way down even to the model number of the air handler and the condensing unit outside as to what will be used. They spec that out completely. So
Yep. So get with Mariah and she can give you that information. We've got Ray asking, in the new houses, do you guys install studs in between framing so there's not a hollow point in between the studs, like to hang TV mounts? So yes, we call that blocking. And yeah, we'll put a stud piece, like this in between the studs. So if it's going like this, you'll have a piece of wood that runs in between it to mount anything. We do that for anywhere we think we're going to be mounting something on the wall. So if you know that you want to put where your TV mounts want to be, tell your consultant when you meet with them, and we can make sure that we've got that built in, kind of factored into your plans. But we also do that anywhere we're hanging a towel rod, your toilet paper holder, any of that kind of stuff. We're also going to do that to make sure that it's not going to pull out of the wall. So yeah, just mention that to your consultant, and they can make sure that we're putting that exactly where you want it.
By the way, going back to Jason's, I just looked at his Manual J. He's probably getting a 3-ton Linux condenser and air handler. So, which is more than enough when you're using spray foam insulation, because you have to have it where it cycles enough to decondition, to condition the airspace, to extract the moisture out of the air. So probably a 3-ton system is what would most likely be seen in that far north, in the Lufkin Angelina County area.
Okay, awesome. And then Taisha said she already knew that you were her birthday twin. So,
there you go.
And Ray says, thank you for the information. And then Ashley says, today's official construction word of the day is gobbledygook.
It's real. It's a real word.
Technical term. All right, awesome. Well, you guys keep dropping your questions into the chat. These are some great ones. And we're going to take a look at all of the bedrooms in this house.
Let's check it out.
Oh, wow. Okay, so one thing I want to point out as we walk into your master is you have some large furniture in here, and it still feels like a really big space.
It is. It's not crowded at all, with a king-size bed and then several pieces.
Yeah, no, this is a really nice sized room, and you have this natural light coming in, nice windows. I feel like throughout the house, there's always windows in each room, which bring in so much natural light. So
we love that about this floor plan.
Yeah, especially on the property you're on. It's a beautiful property. All right, so let's move into your master bathroom and talk about some of the changes. Okay. Wow, this is a nice size master bathroom too.
We really like it.
Yeah, and I see you made some changes. Wasn't there originally a tub combination here?
Yes, there was a tub, and we decided to go with a walk-in shower and add the bench, and we've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
Yeah, no, this is great, and you raised your countertop height here too.
We did. We raised the countertop. Actually, Darla at the Weatherford office was the one that recommended that, but with my height. It's worked out great to have a taller countertop, and we added, instead of one sink in the center, we added a sink on either side.
Perfect.
So,
separate sinks, and you have plenty of cabinetry here and here. This is really, really nice. You guys get some smart changes in here. Awesome. Well, let's go check out your secondary bedrooms.
all right.
Okay, so the first of 3 guest bedrooms. These are great size rooms, and you notice all the toys in here for your grandchildren, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And each of these bedrooms comes with a nice size closet. Let's check this closet out. That is like a child's dream closet with all those toys in there. There's a ton of space in there for family and friends that are visiting. Just really nice spaces to invite people into your home. This is awesome. Let's go check out the other 2. Hey, the next bedroom, the blue room, as you said. This is so nice, very spacious. And you guys have, what, 5 children? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you guys need space for people when they're coming to visit.
Yes, ma'am.
I think these provide enough space and it's very comfortable in here. So these look great. Let's check out that last one.
All right.
Okay, another base-sized room for more family, right?
Yes, ma'am. We decided in this one that we would upsize the bed just a little bit to a queen bed, and then we added a couple of storage for craft items and some different things, but it's still very spacious around the edges.
You can totally move around and
Yes,
ma'am
ma'am.
here if you need to. Yes. And the cool thing about these bedrooms is that they all share a big bathroom right over here with tons of cabinetry. You have the shower bath combo. So
Yes.
you guys turn that the walk-in shower and removing the tub in your master. This provides you with another tub for guests, which I'm sure is important with grandkids. And
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, well, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and wrap up in the kitchen.
So yeah, just beautiful. So this is their master bedroom, and they've got another big window looking out on the views of their property, and lots of space in here. They've got a lot of large furniture pieces in that room, and you can see there's plenty of room for them to walk around, because remember, it's not just the 3 people that you see on camera, it's also our camera guy walking around with them too. So lots
Who's
of
very
room.
svelte. He's a very svelte guy. He's not a big guy, but he's
He is, but the camera itself though isn't.
that's yeah,
So
exactly right.
but yeah, so just a nice big beautiful room, and again they've continued that farmhouse furniture theme into here, so just beautiful space. And then you've got the master bathroom, and like we were talking about, they didn't really make that many changes because it's such a good space to begin with. So they did change out, took out the tub and made it just the walk-in shower,
Mhm.
and added in a bench into that for seating. And then they did go ahead and add in a second sink into that vanity, so they have the double sinks, and raised the counter height, because as you can see, Mr. Anderson, it's very tall, so that works out well for them. But yeah, lots of cabinetry in there, and just lots of storage space in this bathroom. Very well designed. And then you've got the 3 additional bedrooms, which are all very good sized. You've got a full bed in 2 of them, and a queen bed in that third bedroom, and still lots of space. So these are great rooms for guests or kids. They've got enough space to do everything, and everyone has a good sized closet on it as well. So just great design. And then this is that bathroom that they were talking about, the hallway bathroom that is shared between those 3. So you've got the tub shower combo in there, a really big vanity space around that sink, and again, more cabinetry to store everything. So yeah, just a great use.
Yeah. Really good.
All right. And then I can see we do have a couple more comments. Let me bring those up.
Yeah, I can go back to the cathedral ceiling height. All I can do is estimate it because I can't print where I am. But it's going to be about between 15 and 16 feet on the cathedral ceiling of the Bear on the custom option. Not saying it's one that goes on the covered porch, but the one that's available online.
Okay. Awesome. And then we've got Roy asking, do new houses come with water softeners? And regarding the HVAC, is it a UV, HEP, HEPA, or average HVAC?
Okay, so great questions, Ray. So they do not come standard with water softeners. We can rough in for them. Not everybody needs water softener. That'd be based on some water testing that's done. Roughing in for water softener is very inexpensive, but not everybody even wants to do that. So it's understandable, because when we're placed after winterize, should something be freezing, we can rough in for it. It's very inexpensive, and then if you need one, you can do it. But I would not just slap one on there because you really need to have some water testing done and have the test results that dictates how many gallons is going to be used before that water softener has to go to regeneration to do that. So, for example, at my house, it's about 4,200 gallons, 4,217 gallons, I think is what it is right now. Pretty random, but it's just based on the calculation, based on the chemical results that come back from a water test. So there is no one size fits all water softener, and I would steer clear of anybody who's trying to sell you that. On the HVAC, we actually were using UV filters back in, we were so cutting edge. My house I built in 2004 with Tilson had a UV light on it. We got away from those. They're not necessary. It's kind of gimmicky. We thought it was going to be the end all be all. It didn't really do a whole lot. We've had much better luck and much lower maintenance long term with just the media filter. So we use a 4-inch media filter on all the homes that we build, on all the HVAC systems, and changing that out once every 3 or 4 months is a way better, way lower maintenance, way more predictable way to filter your house. I would actually steer clear of the HEPA filters. There's no reason for them. In fact, they tend to, if people aren't diligent about replacing them, and maybe you're someone that is, but for most people, they won't rotate and balance their tires, they won't change their oil, they won't change their air filters in their house. So we find that the HEPA filters can create over restriction, creating a lot of work on the air handler itself, and then thereby on the condensing unit, and shortens the life of them because most people just don't change them out like they're supposed to. But if you're diligent about it, HEPA filter's fine. I don't use it in my personal home. You don't need it. Get you a MERV 5 or 6 media filter, buy them at your local big box store, or order them online. Have them there at the house. Have your 15-year-old son go up and change them out once a quarter, and you're. But if you're someone who doesn't change them out, for sure, don't use a HEPA filter because you will put an undue strain on your system.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got Tracy saying hi from Cibolo. We're building a Canyon A at Richland Chambers. Our foundation pour has been rescheduled 3 times now. Yeah. Hopefully Mother Nature is going to give us a break next Monday. I hope so. It's just,
Us too.
Yeah. In that area, every time it finally stops with the precipitation, it gets too cold that they don't want to do concrete. And I swear somebody told me you guys are like negatives tomorrow. So, or feels like, or something. So yeah, hopefully we can sneak it in there when Mother Nature's not watching. All right. We got Colin saying we plan to build in Republic Grand Ranch and wanted to know if spray foam is mandatory or is fiberglass installation an option?
Yeah, because spray foam is not mandatory. You can meet the energy code with fiberglass insulation. I know that we have some competitors out there that for whatever reason steer clear of spray foam. That's their prerogative. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it if it's designed properly. So slapping spray foam in something that you don't do a holistic approach to the fresh air intake and humidity and dehumidification of the system is a problem. But the way we do it is a robust approach to the system. So we're going to design the HVAC system based on spray foam insulation, like we talked about before, the Manual J. We're going to be sure that there's a dehumidifier on there, that there's a fresh air intake, and all that. The system is done holistically, insulation, HVAC, windows, all of it together as an entire system. I would not recommend going with fiberglass just purely from an energy saving standpoint. But if you want to, yes, we can still achieve the energy code using fiberglass insulation. It is probably going to be a more costly, simply because we are going to have to use a larger, more robust HVAC system to get that done and still meet the current energy code. But I know that there are, at least for sure, one competitor out there that is adamantly opposed to it. I don't know what his fears are about it, other than it can be done wrong if you don't do a holistic approach. If you just slap spray foam up there and don't redesign the HVAC system, yeah, that can be a problem. But that's not how.
Or if you're in that Gulf Coast area and you forget that dehumidifier, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. Everybody's gonna have a bad time.
No problem.
But yeah, okay. And then Tracy's asking, how do property taxes work when your house is finished later in the year?
All right. So Tracy, that actually is going to be very county specific. So most counties that we build in, we find that they will work with the customer based on almost like a pro rata system. So they will based on a percentage of completion that you can kind of negotiate with them. Like, hey, it's 60% complete. That's more 30% complete. So we'll find that they'll tax you for a portion of what the value will be in a given year. So let's say that by December 31st, the house will be 50% complete. Some counties won't tax you at all for that just yet, and they'll just hit you for the full boat the following year. We do find other counties will kind of work with you on, hey, we can work, it's 30%, 50%, 60% complete. Pay us for that portion this year, and then we'll get you for the full amount the following year. But don't hesitate to go have a conversation with them. I don't like volunteering a lot of information to any government entities, but that's just I'm not here to give tax advice. That's just Eric. But I mean, they can find everything they need to these days with drones and planes, little Cessnas they fly around with. They either pay a service to fly around, or they pay a drone operator to fly around and see things where there's activity. But certainly, I would challenge them if they try to charge you for the full amount of a finished home while it's still under construction, because you're not living in it; it's not livable. And I haven't found a county yet that wouldn't work with a customer of ours on that.
Okay, awesome. And then Shlee is asking, this may seem a bit much, but do you put wood behind doors, as in where a door would open and the door handle would hit the walls to prevent holes in the sheetrock? Are these items we can add as the build is happening, or are these things we have to request be added to plans?
You would need to request to add something like that. However, we do put door stops. So we have either in the hinge system or on the baseboard itself, a door stop to prevent that from happening. And even if we put wood behind where the doorknob would hit, it's still going to damage the sheetrock. So the sheetrock is 1/2 inch thick. You're not going to prevent that if the door. But before we leave, when we do your homeowner orientation and walk through with you, the door stops are all going to be there. We're going to make sure that the doorknobs can't slam into the sheetrock. It is the homeowner's job to maintain that. So if dogs or little kids or things
Or big kids
play with and remove the door stops, that is on the homeowner to maintain. But I don't think that that's a place that I would spend a whole lot of time, energy, and effort putting blocks. And yeah,
Okay.
just tell people be civil. Wouldn't it be?
All right.
No Kramers allowed, and just slaying doors open.
All right. Abraham is asking, hi, if we own our lot, what is the average cost per square foot to build with you guys?
I'm gonna let you go, Dawn. I'm gonna let you do it.
So Abraham, we do not like to price our homes based on cost per square foot, just because it's not an apples to apples comparison when you're doing that. So whatever price per square foot I quoted you is either going to be way higher than the house that you're looking at or way lower than the house that you actually want to build. So instead, we actually put the starting prices of our homes by home on our website so that you can see exactly what the price is going to be for that plan. So if you go to our website, when you're looking at our list of plans, there's going to be a drop down that says county, pick your county. That is going to then populate the pricing onto the website so you can see what the starting price is for every single one of our homes. And that's as they're designed. You will see a range of prices on our website, and that's the difference in the exterior elevation options that we were showing you. So if it's, brick, board and batten, or rock, that's what that price range is for. But we just like that way. It's a little bit more transparent, that you know exactly what features you're getting in the house, what the rooms look like, what the ceiling heights are, things like that, that this is that house, rather than giving you a price per square foot. I will also say, if you are talking to builders who are quoting you price per square foot, ask them what they're counting in that square footage when they do that. When you're looking at a square footage on our website, we are only including the living area square footage. So that's going to be all of your, heated and cooled spaces. We are not including, all of the concrete. So we don't have porches on there. We don't have garages included in that cost per square foot. Make sure if you're talking to a builder who is giving you a cost per square foot, are they including those spaces? Because that will, that will make that cost per square foot look lower than what you were thinking, because they're adding in that unconditioned space into it. So just make sure, if you are looking at prices that way, that you're getting that. But we really recommend, even if you hit a builder that's saying cost per square foot, give them the exact house that you want to build and have them quote, because it's a very misleading way
Great advice.
to price a house. So Angela's saying, is it possible in bath 2 to reconfigure everything and add a door from the outside, or would it be cheaper to add a powder room to the utility space?
Whew, it's going to depend. I wouldn't looked at it when you asked the question. It's going to be tight in there to try and just reconfigure it without adding a little bit of footage. So it might actually be less expensive to do a powder space over on the utility side. I think either way, you're going to add a little bit of footage to make it comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't try to skimp on making it barely fit because you're not going to use. I don't think you're going to use the door that often. I'm saying that because I tried the same thing. We put a door on a half bath coming in from our back porch. I think it's been open twice, and now it will never be open because now there's all kinds of stuff in front of it from the back porch. So it's not gonna. But I understand what you're saying. I like the idea. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on doing that because we find that most customers don't end up using it a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple times in the summertime, maybe a couple times in the first year they own the home. Then after that, they just don't use it that
unless
much.
you have
So
like
I
a
would not
pool that people
dedicate-
are constantly in and out and you don't want them traipsing through your house. I don't, you probably won't use it that much.
And the boys are going to go off the hill on the back. It's just reality.
I only have girls, so.
I hate to say it. Yeah, I'm the middle of 3 boys, and it's just reality.
Okay. All right. Ashley's saying, a little off topic. While we were in Texas, we checked out the Fredericksburg and Katy. Can you put the Fredericksburg master bath on the Polidoro floor plan?
Yes, you can. So you do want to sit down with your consultant and do that, but yeah, there's room for it to fit. Both of those are both very large footprints. There'll be a couple of changes that have to take place. You're going to absorb a little bit of closet on that, but yeah, you can do like the corner tub and that shower. Separate vanities. It can be done. You may have to use a little bit of footage in that the closet to make that happen.
Okay.
But I think you can probably make
All
that
right. And Phyllis is asking, if you have a well, is the water tested to determine if a water softener is needed? In a previous Tilson Live, it was mentioned that Tilson could assist with a well. If that is true, how does that work to determine the cost and how far to drill down? Just trying to gather information.
Yeah, Phyllis, that's a very difficult one to pin down. That's probably the hardest one of all the professional property services to pin down, because you truly don't know till you've reached good water that's going to sustain the gallons per minute you need until you've hit it. So truly the day that you're drilling. So it could be 250 feet, it could be 300 feet, it could be 500 feet. We don't know, unfortunately, which is why we don't have fixed pricing based on water wells. You really don't know. I know you're looking at Bexar County. I mean, it could be anywhere from probably $17,000 to $30,000, and we just don't know for sure without getting a couple bids out there. And then truly the day of. The way it usually works, though, is they'll tell you, like let's say a $17,000 or $18,000 price range will get you up to 250 or 300 feet of depth, and then they do generally have a dollar per foot for going further down. I just don't have that pinned down today for Bexar County, but so that's the second half of the question. First half of the question is, yes, that's when you would test the water. After that, I would test it though, like probably weeks or months after using it for a little bit, because when you drill a fresh well and you get the pump down in that water table and you're pumping it, like there's a lot of stuff stirred up, a lot of sediment stirred up, a lot of minerals stirred up. I wouldn't do the water test. I wouldn't base my regeneration of a water softener unit based on a brand new install. And I know that sounds a weird thing, but I would maybe rough in for a water softener at first, plan on going through some filters at first, but then maybe after 3 or 4 weeks, I would test it for a water, like what I really need long term for a water softener. Because the way water softeners work is you program in, how many gallons that it needs to use before it goes into regeneration, or when it goes to siphon everything through that water softener. And I wouldn't want to do that based on a fresh kind of does that make sense now what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you kind of stirred everything up, and you might be miscalculating long term based on something that's happening in a very short time.
Okay, that makes sense.
You may be overdoing it.
Okay. Angela's asking, will this featured home be added to the website so we can do a 3D walkthrough? So unfortunately, we will not have the 3D tour, but we will put this video online so that you can rewatch it and see it all in one go. But we were not able to take the 3D tour of this home. It's just it takes a lot of time to do that. So we were grateful that they would let us do the video. So we tend to not do both because we don't want them to have to put up with us all day to have to do that. But all right, well, let's check out the rest of this house. You guys keep putting your questions.
These are great questions. Y'all keep dropping them in. These are awesome.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up talking about the house, let's talk about a few spaces that we didn't necessarily walk into, starting with your rear covered porch. You guys added that porch, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was great. One thing, we love that outside space, and we love that it's in an area that doesn't block the great window view from the living area. So it's in the perfect spot. So we love being able to sit out there at times.
Yeah, I mean,
enjoying
it's such
nature.
a beautiful property, and your chairs out there. I'm sure you guys just enjoy sitting out there in the evenings together. And then you come in and you have your utility room. And one cool thing in there is that window in that utility room, right? Bringing in all that light. So you guys love that.
We do like that, yes.
And then let's talk about the changes that you made in your garage.
Okay, we did add the garage on. And with the access, it did change the utility just a little bit on the where the utilities were in that room. And then as we go into the garage, there's a space there for entry from where the cars are. That was expanded a little bit to make room for water heater that we wanted in the garage, and also water softener. So Tilson worked with us to make a good plan to expand that space to accommodate our needs.
It really does. And you have your fridge and freezers out there, and it's just a nice spot for things that you need that you don't necessarily want in the attic, and it's easy access right in the garage. So that was really smart to make that change. One question I have for you guys, what is your favorite part of this house?
My favorite part of this house is my windows in my living room. I love all of the outside light. It just seems more cheerful and open, and that is the one thing I love the most. I love my kitchen too, so it's kind of hard to decide. What about you?
And mine is just that open space from kitchen to dining to living, where you're just all kind of together. Because when we have family together, sometimes mom's in here working in the kitchen and somebody's watching TV and people are sitting, we're all kind of able to be in a same general space and be part of the whole family gathering without having to be off in different areas.
I love
Really like
you
that.
guys do have a big family, and just being able to all come here and gather, I'm sure is so special. So I'm excited to hear how your holidays go here with everyone visiting. But thank you very much for having us in your home and letting us show off how beautiful it is and all the amazing customizations you made. And thank you all for watching another episode of Tilson Home Tours, and we hope to one day soon make you a part of the Tilson family. Bye.
All right. So there's that utility room space that they were talking about. So plenty of space connected. This connects into their garage. And then they did go ahead and add that cabinet above it. So that is an option that you can add. And then, the star of the show there, that rear porch. So yeah, just a great addition that they made to add that rear covered porch, and they can just, enjoy the outdoors.
What a great house.
Great house. And really thank you guys for sharing it with us and doing the video, because we were so excited.
Super cool. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All righty. So let's see. We've got Angela says she has her last question, which it does not have to be your last question, Angela. We are here to answer all your questions. But she is wondering, can the concrete for the driveway be omitted from the e-ticket compliance if we have a relationship with an outside contractor?
Angela, yeah, it can. I think we can do that as long as the understanding is there that, maybe to get it finished or compliance from the subdivision or city, it will have to be done before we can close. And so we just want to be sure that you've done the due diligence and you have a good idea of what it will actually cost, and the contractors agreed to that. We may ask for a copy of an agreement of some sort or email just so that we know that the money's set aside to get that done. Because what we wouldn't want to do is get all the way to completion, have the house completely finished, and then you can't close on it because the driveway's not in for one reason or another. But yeah, that's not a problem. We can have driveway by owner. That's not an issue. We just, in certain subdivisions, we include it just because it is required and we know about it. We know how many square feet we're going to need. And so we try to just make it a little easier on the customer. But yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
awesome. All right. And Angela's is the last question that I see.
Okay, so last call for questions, folks. I know Don's got some news about what the happenings across the state, but if you want to drop another question in between now and the end of the show, which is mere seconds away, drop it in now. We want to hear from you, anything like that. But Dawn, what is going on? We got something big going on this weekend.
Yes,
Tell us about
so we are having our Behind the Sheetrock event in the Cisco model up in Weatherford. So this is your chance to come and see one of our models before we put the sheetrock up. So you can actually see how we do our framing, how all the mechanicals are done. The builders will be there telling you exactly how we build our houses, why we use the materials we do, why we use the techniques that we do. And, you know, really, guys, the quality of the house is in the stuff that you can't necessarily see. Our models are great and wonderful and lovely when they're all pretty and decorated and you're looking at paint colors and all of that, but the quality of the house is hidden behind that sheetrock. So this is really a great opportunity to come and see how a Tilson home is actually built. So a great opportunity. And just to be honest with you guys, I don't know when the next one of these is going to be, because this is of our two models, this is our second one this year to hit that stage. So until we build another one, there will not be one of these at one of our design centers. We do try to do some at customer homes, but that's really the perfect things have to align absolutely perfectly. And with the way Mother Nature is treating all of our customers, I wouldn't ask anybody to hold their build so we could do one of these events. So this might be your last chance for a while to see one of our homes under construction. So I really encourage you guys, if you're able to make it out, to come and attend one of those.
Unless Mother Nature takes it upon itself to take out one of our other model homes.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes that happens. So usually not the one we want, but you know, it's fine.
Right. Yeah,
we figured out we like building new stuff. But then we do also have, if you can't make it out to Weatherford, or you've already been to one of these, you're welcome to go to one of our other locations. Both our Katie office and our Melissa office are holding seminars this weekend, so you can check those out as well. Attending these things in person is just a great opportunity to meet other people who are considering building on your lot, might be building in the same areas. You can offer advice, might ask questions that you didn't think of. It's just a great opportunity to meet everybody in person, and get some tips and advice, get your questions answered.
Love advice flying around in the chat.
Let's see. We've got Mrs. Anderson is here saying thanks for coming out to see our house.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us. We
you
really
very much.
appreciate you doing that. Jason saying, beware if you hire your own guy to do the drive. So they're gonna have to tear theirs out. I'm sorry, Jason. And then Angela remembered another question. Do we have other brick colors available beside what's in the tool? So I think you're talking about our interactive exteriors on the website. And yes, we have many, many other brick colors. We were really just trying to give you kind of a taste of what we offer with that interactive tool, because if we put everything in it, it would be very overwhelming. But yes, if you go to the design
The
center,
website would not load if we put
I would be like, no, thank you, ma'am. But yeah, if you go into our design center, they have all of the bricks that we offer displayed, and there are a lot more than what we have on the website. Same thing for stone; those are not our only stone options either. And same thing with paint. We got the whole Sherwin-Williams palette. So it's really what you're seeing online in our selections are just kind of suggestions and what's the most popular options that people choose. All right. And Jason did want to make it clear that the driveway he's having to tear out, we didn't do it. He wants to tear it out.
You're a good man, Jason. You're a good man. I was not going to call it out, and that's.
I'm still sorry you're having to go through that, because that
I
is
am too. I hate that.
Anybody, I hate that for you.
So, all right, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. Obviously, the journey does not have to end here. We have a website that's open 24/7. That's Tilson's Front Porch. We got all kinds of information there. Videos are loaded there. All of our floor plans, like interactive design tools, like we were talking about earlier, that Angela's asking about. That's there. We have an Instagram page. We have a Facebook page, as many of you know. We have a YouTube channel that has hundreds, literally hundreds of videos on there that can help you guys out through this process. Long form videos, short form videos, customer testimonials, customer tours like this one, many, many others. We also have new home specialist on standby. You can chat through the website, call, answer high-level questions, schedule appointments, and we have 12 design centers open 7 days a week with models open to tour you, show you what exactly you're getting. All of them have design centers. All of them have their own housed color selection areas. You can see every tile we offer, brick colors, stone colors, cabinet colors, hardware, door hardware, cabinet hardware, light fixtures, floor coverings. It's all there for you to see, tour, touch, feel, and get to know, get familiar with, so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Also, that's where the sales consultants are, specific to your area, that can answer the questions the best, way better than I can, almost as well as Dawn can.
Way better than me.
They're there to answer your questions. That's why we have them. And folks, we want to hear from you. We want to see you. And yeah, here comes the front. Here it is.
All right, just in time.
But we do want to hear from you guys, folks. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We do hope that you found this informative, and we genuinely hope soon to make you part of the Tilson family. Thank you to Andersons and Peyton for doing the video. It was awesome. We'll see you guys later.
All right, bye, everybody.